students, welcome back to my channel Commerce Talk with Sadhana, and this is fifth video of analysis of financial statements. And today I am going to start a very interesting and important topic of analysis of financial statements. Students who love calculation will love this topic very much. First of all, if I tell you that tell me which phone is better. If I say phone A, I have two mobiles. Phone A has 80% battery while phone B has 50% battery. Phone A has 80% battery. It will last for 8 hours. And phone B has 50% battery and it will last for 7 hours. Can anybody will decide only on the base of battery that which mobile phone should be purchased? Obviously no. We need other figures like camera, memory and many other figures to consider while purchasing a mobile. Got it? So just like we need more information to compare phones, in business also we need ratios to understand real pictures behind the numbers. Got it? First of all, what is ratio? Ratio is a mathematical expression which shows relationship between two accounting figures. So relationship between two accounting figures will be shown by ratio. Got it? And now question arises, why do we need ratio? Just like as doctors use BP and heart rate to check a person's health, same with accountants. Accountants use ratios to check a company's overall health. Got it? So accounting ratio, I have told you the meaning that accounting ratio is a mathematical expression that shows the relationship between two accounting figures taken from balance sheet or statement of profit and loss. It is usually expressed either as pure ratio, that is 2:1, or we can convert into percentage or times, that is this is 2 times. Got it? And if we will convert it into, that will be 4 times, like this. Ratio analysis convert financial figures into meaningful information that helps in judging liquidity, solvency, efficiency and profitability of a business. That's why we need accounting ratio. Hope your meaning of ratio and why do we need ratio is clear. Got it? Next is objective of ratio analysis. First of all, to simplify accounting figures and present complex financial data into a raw and understandable form. To assess short-term and long-term liquidity position of firm, that is whether it is able to meet its current obligations or not. To judge the solvency of the firm, that is whether it is able to meet its long-term obligations on time or not. So it check its short-term liquidity also, long-term liquidity also, and it also measures the operating efficiency, that how resources are used in the firm. To assess the profitability of business in relation to sales and capital employed. To facilitate inter-firm and intra-firm comparison as well as comparison over a period of time or trend analysis. Got it? It helps in comparison also. To help management in planning, forecasting and decisions. Importance in objective, its importance are also mentioned, like it helps in decision making, forecasting, facilitate communication of financial statement strength and weakness to its stakeholders. What are various stakeholders? That is owners, investors, creditors, government and other many stakeholders. It helps in coordination between different departments by setting standards. It is useful in control. So actual ratio can be compared with standard or budgeted ratios that company has set their standards. What is limitation of ratio analysis? It ignores qualitative aspect based on historical data. Different accounting policies may be there, price level changes ignored, single ratio may be misleading, and it can give a false ratio. Window dressing can give a false ratio. All these are limitations of accounting ratios, and these are also limitations of accounting. So you need not to learn differently. This is in your class 11th also, limitations of accounting. Next is, how do we classify accounting ratios? We classify accounting ratios in 4 categories. To memorize, I give you a short trick, that is SLAP, that is SLAP. How SLAP is there? 1, 2, 3. This is SLAP. Got it? So accounting ratio is divided into SLAP, that is, first is solvency. The sequence of ratios can be varied, so don't worry, I am just telling you classification. This sequence can be varied. So S stands for solvency ratios. This is solvency ratios. L stands for liquidity ratios. These are liquidity ratios. A stands for activity ratios, and P stands for profitability ratios. Got it? What are liquidity ratios? Liquidity ratio will measure short-term solvencies, that whether firm is able to pay its short-term obligations or not. What are 2 ratios included in liquidity ratio? First is current ratio, second one is quick ratio. Next is our solvency ratios. What is solvency ratios? It measures firm's long-term financial position, or it checks whether the firm is able to pay its long-term obligations or not. What are various ratios included in it? First is debt equity ratio, total asset to debt ratio, proprietary ratio, and ICR, that is interest coverage ratio. Third is activity or turnover ratios. It measures efficiency with which resources or assets are used, that how efficiently firm is operating, it will tell under activities ratios. In various ratios which included in this category are inventory turnover, trade receivables turnover, trade payable turnover, working capital turnover. Short trick to memorize is all turnover will include in turnover or activities ratio. What is profitability ratio? Profitability ratio will measure overall profit earning capacity of the business. Various ratios included in this are gross profit ratio, operating ratio, operating profit ratio. Both ratios are different. First is operating ratio, that how firm is operating, and second is operating profit ratio. Then net profit ratio and ROI, that is return on investment ratio. Got it? So let's start one by one. Ready? Go. First one is our liquidity ratios. So now I am pretty sure that you do not have any confusion with the category of ratios, that is SLAP. We are doing first is liquidity ratios. Liquidity ratios will check what liquidity ratios will check? Liquidity ratios will check the short-term financial position of the business or debt paying capacity of the business. Those ratios are calculated from balance sheet. Obviously all data has to be taken from balance sheet. First is current ratio. Ideal ratio for current ratio is 2:1. You must learn this, that ideal ratio is 2:1. And what is formula to calculate current ratio? Current ratio is current assets divided by current liabilities. Which are current assets? Which are converted into cash. Those assets which convert into cash within 12 months or within operating cycle of any business is known as current assets. How to calculate? Add all the current assets from balance sheet and you will get your current assets. Got it? Next is current liabilities. All those liabilities which are due or to be paid within 12 months of balance sheet are known as current liabilities. How you will calculate current liabilities? You have to sum up all the current liabilities which are given in balance sheet, that is short-term borrowings, trade payables, other liability, short-term provisions. And I have told you in the topic in which I told you the format of balance sheet that short form for current liabilities are STOS and long liabilities are LDOL. Got it? So these are your current assets. Current liabilities, sorry. Significance, why it is important to calculate current ratio. A higher ratio indicates a better ability to pay short-term obligations. How? This is current assets, current liabilities. 2:1 means the amount of liability you have, double current assets you must have. And if current ratio increasing, that means you have more current assets. Then what does that mean? That means that you are able to pay your current liabilities in a very easy, or you are in a very better position, advanced position. But if it is very high ratio, it may include that you have excess current assets and those current assets may remain idle and your funds may be locked up in current assets, the funds which can be used anywhere, somewhere else can be used. So idle ratio is 2:1. Now let's come to second ratio. We are doing category of liquidity ratio. In liquidity ratio we have done one ratio, that is current ratio. Now we are doing quick ratio. What is quick ratio? Another name for quick ratio is liquid ratio or acid test ratio, and idle ratio is 1:1. What was idle ratio of current ratio? That was 2:1, and idle ratio for quick ratio is 1:1, and formula will be, denominator will be same, that is current liability. In numerator we will put quick assets instead of current assets. So quick assets divided by current liabilities. How to calculate quick assets? You will subtract simply inventories and prepaid expenses from current assets. Got it? So here, that's how your quick assets will be calculated. Current liabilities, I have told you how to calculate current liabilities. So divide both and you will get your quick ratio. Quick ratio is a more stringent test of liquidity than current ratio because it excludes your inventory, which means that inventory may take some time to convert into cash. So idle ratio of quick ratio is 1:1. Got it? We have done two ratios, current ratio and quick ratio. Now solvency ratio and other. So let's start solvency ratios. We will do, we have done liquidity ratio, now we are doing solvency ratios. These two ratios we are doing today, and tomorrow we will do these two ratios. Got it? So what is solvency ratio? Solvency ratios measure the long-term financial soundness of a business. It checks long-term debt paying capacity. So first is debt equity ratio. As it is long term, we will not include any current liability or current assets. So first is debt equity ratio. As its name suggests, you have to put in numerator debt and at denominator equity. Ideal ratio is 2:1, that your debt should be double from your equity. So how to calculate? That is debt upon equity. What is equity? Equity is shareholders fund. What are long term debts? Which are repayable after 12 months. And how to calculate? I have told you in the previous slides. Shareholders fund. What are shareholders fund? Those funds which belongs to owners of the business are known as shareholders fund. And how to calculate? It will be share capital plus reserve and surplus is our equity. This is first method, and we can calculate shareholders fund by another method, that is subtract total assets minus non-current liabilities and minus current liabilities. Why I am doing it so? Let me explain if it will not confuse you. This is balance sheet. In balance sheet we write first shareholders fund, reserves and surplus, non-current liability, current liability. This is our total liability. Got it? And here we write assets, non-current and current assets. Got it? This is our full balance sheet for a rough idea. So I want to get only shareholder fund and reserve and surplus. One method is that I directly take values and plus these both, and I will get shareholder fund. But if shareholder fund is not given in any question, then how you will calculate? You will take total assets. Why? Because total assets is equal to total liabilities. Sure. So total assets is equal to total liability. So you have to take total assets, and from total assets you will subtract this current liability and non-current liability. Then you will get your share capital and reserves and surplus. Is it clear? So what is significance? It will tell you debt paying capacity of the firm. Lower ratio indicates that lower dependence on external debt and generally preferred by long-term lenders, that it offers a larger margin of safety, that more funds, more debt should be there. Second is total asset to debt ratio, numerator, denominator. So total assets divided by long-term debts. What are total assets? Obviously your balance sheet total one side is known as total assets, non-current plus current, and long-term debts are same which we calculated in long-term liability, long-term debt, which we calculated in debt equity ratio. What is its significance? That it will tell that which portion of total assets is financed through long-term borrowed funds, and how much margin of safety is available to lenders. Got it? So it tells that how much assets are financed through long-term debts. Higher ratio means that a larger cushion of assets backing the debts, and hence it is safe for lenders. Proprietary ratio. Next ratio is proprietary ratio. How to calculate proprietary ratio? Shareholders fund upon total assets. It tells you that what proportion of total assets is financed by owners. Got it? So how we will calculate shareholder fund? We know total assets, we know, we will divide and we will get our proprietary ratio. But higher ratio indicates that greater financial strength is there and lower independence on outside liabilities. Total firm is depend on its owners, which is favorable for long term solvency. And our next formula is interest coverage ratio, ICR. Interest coverage ratio is equal to net profit before interest and tax divided by interest on long term debts. Got it? So how we will calculate net profit from before interest and tax? Total profit, and from total profit no tax or no interest should be charged. Got it? This is net profit before interest and tax. So how we will calculate net profit after tax? We will plus tax plus interest. Interest on long term debts. How to calculate interest on long term debts? It will be given in finance cost in profit and loss. Why it is important to calculate interest coverage ratio? It indicates how many times the profit covers the interest obligation on any long term debt. A higher ratio means greater safety for lenders, as the firm can comfortably pay interest even if profits falls. Got it? And our next ratio is activity ratio, which we will do tomorrow. So if you have any doubts related liquidity ratio, solvency ratio, please tell me in the comments. And accounting ratio, proprietary ratio we have done, and activity ratio we will do tomorrow. See you in the next class.